The doomsman sat behind his desk, face tendrils slack in bewilderment. I must state for the record, and for your personal appreciation, Mr. Jimmy Rapide, that this case is being conducted in closed session and without standard protocols because of the unprecedented degree of your potentially criminal, deeds. Jimmy opened his mouth. His advocate elbowed him gently, and the doomsman continued. But the encroachment of the Blastock raiders are a mitigating circumstance. This, and the fact that you saved lives by your actions, is why you are being granted the privilege of a trial at all, given the degree of property and other damages you incurred. Jimmy opened his mouth again. His advocate elbowed him less gently. Jimmy closed his mouth and looked both bored and impunged. What is Mr. Rapide's rating, and what are his responsibilities? The doomsman asked the shipping company representative. Hull technician, Your Honor, and first class, Jimmy interjected, receiving another elbow and giving it right back. Yes, hull technician first class. His responsibilities are maintenance and repair of the hull and structure of company ships, up to and including full fabrication while in flight. He's highly certified in EVA, microgravity, and vacuum welding and fabrication, and repair drone control. Do his duties include repair or modifications to drive systems? No, Your Honor. Jimmy opened his mouth again, and his advocate kicked him in the shin. State for the record in your own words, Mr. Rapide, the doomsman commanded, turning to Jimmy. What you did. Please, go into detail. Well, I knew them raiders was coming, right? And the Navy weren't nowheres near, so we needed to go. It was going to take a couple 3 days to get everyone aboard and fueled up and ready to go, and I figured we'd need a whole ass too if we were going to have a chance to get away. So I scrounged up some electromagnets and controllers, some wiring, and some structural steel and fixed up the engine like me and my cousin did his old hot rods back in Seoul. The room was silent. Would you please state for the record? The doomsman asked the course propulsion expert. What Mr. Rapide did? Yes, Your Honor. He cannibalized the station's cargo mass driver and grafted it onto the ship's fusion bell drive, converting it into a makeshift plasma spike drive. Essentially a fusion-powered railgun that shot low relativistic plasma as a thrust medium. To say it was improvised would be a disservice to the term, except that it managed to work exceptionally well, other than the fact that it could not be switched off. Were these the only modifications? The doomsman prompted. No, he also fabricated a giant shield and a feed mechanism to launch nuclear mining charges into the plasma stream, melting the interlocks and detonating them. Spy drive's got shit acceleration, Jimmy yelled, taking another elbow to the ribs and returning it. You gotta give it a push to get started, or you'll never get it going. Jimmy's advocate tried to cover Jimmy's mouth and got bit. That's why I built the Orion drive, to help the ion engines get us up to speed. The room was silent again. Jimmy's advocate put his head on the table and covered it with his hands. Jimmy and the doomsman looked at each other, still silent. It worked. You cut a research station in half with your drive plume. That was accident. The feed mechanism put the nukes a little off-center when they detonated. Besides, it was fully evacuated. You illegally detonated 17 nuclear devices within irradiation distance of habitats, leaving 3 of them uninhabitable. They were also fully evacuated, and I gave those raiders cancer, thank you very much. Jimmy's advocate looked up at the ceiling. He might be able to change his name and practice law on the frontier. You have single-handedly, irrevocably altered the system's 50-year economic plan, devastated the habitability of the moon clear's surface and orbit for decades, if not centuries, and racked up a conservatively estimated 3.6 trillion credits in property damage. How do you plead? Guilty of saving 8,796 innocent lives. The doomsman locked eyes with Jimmy. Jimmy's advocate hardly dared to breathe. The corporate lawyer thought about how to bleed the situation dry. In light of the situation and lives saved, I pronounce the following doom. Jimmy Rapide is not guilty of criminal behavior due to grievous threat to the lives of numerous valuable citizens. Jimmy smiled. His advocate thought he was having a stroke. Everyone else was wondering about who this president was going to screw. However, I must express my concern about his cavalier attitude towards improvisation of highly destructive energetic systems, and must caution him that future episodes of this nature will likely have a different outcome. I would also like to congratulate him on breaking the mid-system to Oort cloud transit time record. Your ship is officially the fastest self-propelled object in system history. Case adjourned.